Yeah, they a lot of in-depth knowledge, even if the movement and things are still getting there. They have that next level knowledge that helps you get better and know why things work instead of just doing them to see if they'll work at all.
It does look like the race is on, and the category is going to be any percent. And we see both runners going through Series Station. It's pretty routine here. You run down, follow the pretty linear path to get to the baby Metroid, and you find this giant space pelican Ridley.
Yeah, not a lot of room for route divergence here. I often also wonder, like all those scientists who unfortunately lost their lives here, how they got around jumping over all these ledges on their day-to-day basis. But, that's not for me to critique, I guess.
There really are a lot of ledges there for those poor scientists.
I mean, I work with some scientists. They're not the most athletic bunch, especially they don't have a power suit.
So, little fun fact, this is the second, as far as I know, only the second any percent run we've seen this tournament. So, I feel it's pretty hype.
Now, any percent is always good. It's kind of it lets the runners kind of be themselves. So if you need something extra, you can grab it. If you don't, there's a lot of different techniques that any runner can use.
And we're going to see... Sorry, go ahead.
I would just say 2 solid series times there with a 43 and a 44.
Exactly. Series is not, which that's what I was going to touch on. Series Escape. It looks pretty simplistic, but there's a little bit of RNG to that Steam, and with enough practice, you can learn to kind of read that and get better times. So in regards to the route divergence you were talking about earlier, Mookie, I think it'll be interesting to see if Kipp decides to go up at Red Tower and do new route. I feel like he probably won't, but I do know he's been kind of working at it a little bit, if I remember correctly.
I think he has the ability to. I don't think he will, at least not his time in old route is still better than his PB in new route, so I'm pretty sure he'll use old route.
And we see Freyas with the meme fall, and Kipp does not use that. He uses it in minor categories like Sports Spawn RTA, but he does not use it in any percent. So we do see Freyas with a small lead here.
Kipp is pretty... He kind of thinks Moonfall's a little ridiculous, and that's respectable. Everyone's got their opinion, so... But there's not a lot of places to really use the Moonfall either in any percent, so...
And we see Kipp's already made up that small time loss so far that he had from the Moonfall compared to when Freyas had it, and that's just a difference in experience there. They're about an item fanfare apart, and we'll see if we'll see the bomb times when they get there. Who gets to bombs first?
Yeah, both, very smooth through the construction zone and there, so it was well executed by both owners.
And it looks like we're going to get a ledge grab climb out of both runners. Unfortunately, Frey's having a little bit of issues with it, getting hit by at least one of the pirates.
Kipp had a little bit of trouble finishing it off too there.
very important that in the climb through Parlor all the way to BT that you take no damage. The reason for this is because when BT shoots his BT, which stands for Bomb Chorizo, for those of you that don't know, when he shoots his eggs out at you, if you're not at full health, it's possible to get only health drops and not missiles, which will slow down that fight by at least a whole nother round.
458 bombs for Kipp and 503 for Freyas.
Those are very, very respectable times. Great times out of both of these runners. And Kipp with the really great, amazing drops, just making very quick work of BT.
Freyas did a very good job. Couldn't quite get like that one round, just didn't get the drops needed, but still put 2 round and out they go. Both runners with really clean Terminators here.
So,
all right, Kipp with about a 6:30 elevator time, very respectable. And Freyas still just sitting about, I don't know, 5-10 seconds behind. Not too bad. Here comes the biggest sequence break in any percent with the early supers. Kipp hits that mock ball, excuse me, very nicely. Freyas also gets that mock ball. It's a lot tighter than it looks. If you've never practiced it, I've probably spent about 20 minutes outside of that before, and it's just miserable. All right, here we go. Charge Beam, probably the most valuable item in the game, other than the suits, just because it stops you from getting soft locked at Ridley and Wattoon.
Charge Beam, actually, I agree with you on that, Mookie. It is a very super important beam. And I feel it's a little bit undervalued, which the value of it was really seen during the randomizer tournament we previously had, to where if you don't have Charge Beam, it makes so many bosses just so much more difficult.
Yeah, and the ammo management just becomes super, super important. All right, so Kipp verifies that he's going to run old route since he went down Red Tower. And he, you notice he did not grab Spazer. Because, well, no one really grabs Spazer except for maybe Sephi, but that's another story. All right, let's.
Looks like Freyas went for some Kraid quick entry there and unfortunately just missed it. That's going to cost those 2 super missiles, but with Mini Kraid coming up, they will be able to replenish those easily.
It looks so cool when it's done, though.
And they got the nice quick entry through Party Zone as well.
All right, does Kraid get to go to dance?
And no problem for Kipp, as Freyas enters in to do the Dance of Death with Kraid. We will see how they fare.
They fare before they go to Norfair.
For those of you who might not know, there's a couple ways to do this quick kill. One of the main ways to do it, as we see Freyas doing it there, is with the charge beam. And unfortunately, they missed the quick kill, so they will be going to prom. But what the charge beam does for you is it will lock Kraid's hand in whatever position it's at when you hit Kraid in the mouth with your charge beam. And that will allow for much easier access to shoot four super missiles quickly into his mouth, and that's all it takes to take down Kraid.
All right, with Kipp picking up this E-Tank here at Kraid, I think he's going to run at least a 4-tank run for his PB type runs. I know he usually runs 3 in this category, and I think he'll go 4, if not 5, just for the extra safety.
I do know that Kipp has talked in the past before about grabbing extra safeties in, I think specifically any percent runs that he does.
Yeah, I know he likes to grab the Ridley tank for the Norfair escape just for extra, and Kraid I think is the other extra one he will possibly grab. And if I'm not mistaken, Freyas also, they usually run with 3 tanks in their PB attempts, or I've seen them working on 3-tank runs recently.
And Kipp with the Craigasm there on screen for the high jump boots. But yes, indeed, Freyas has been practicing 3-tank runs. I don't know if they have. I don't know offhand if they have completed one with the 3-tank runs yet.
The 3-tank run there's a lot. I mean, it makes that mother brain fight just very tight. Not a lot of room for error. Freyas does not Craigasm for high jump boots, but I'm sure they're very happy to have them.
And Kipp's in Bubble Mountain right now. That cack attack up there, which is why he went to shoot it there, is kind of jokingly one of the mini bosses of this game.
Hardest boss in the game.
It is, and it has ripped a lot of runs for people. So a great visual cue for getting into Speed Booster there, if you're newer to the game or just a little bit unsure about when's a good time to start shooting missiles to open that door into speed, so I don't have to bonk the door and lose any run speed. Once you get to the bottom layers of the platforms, if you count 5 platforms and shoot before the 5th crumble block platform with a super, it will open the door and you can just run straight on through.
Kipp with a nice D boost out of there off of the farm. He had to do a couple extra farms. I feel like he was pretty tight on super missiles. I know he would probably have not. Well, he had 0 going through there, so that is not the ideal number. hoping Freyas doesn't have to farm too much here. Maybe just one, maybe two farms. Just going with one.
So between that farming room, the at the top of the Batcave to Wavegate, it's a minimum of 2 super missiles to make it to Wavegate for optimal speed. If you don't want to use 5 missiles for any of the red doors. So as long as you have 2 coming out of that farming station, you can just move right on.
Kipp apparently very happy about leaving Norfair here and through the Frogway.
And it looks like Kipp was Craigasming about his entire exit from Lower Norfair from Wave on.
And why not? I mean, Wave Beam is pretty awesome. Now, Freya shot a missile there to get out of that last room. And if I'm not mistaken, that was done. They did that to prevent lag, because with the Viola and the seahorses and everything on screen, the Wave Beam will cause a little bit extra lag. If I'm wrong, I'm sure someone will tell me. Kipp heading up Red Tower here. Throws up the hero shot. Gets it first try. That's probably the second hardest boss in the game. Good Hellwave for Kipp, getting the E-boost through there and about to pick up his first set of power bombs. And only set of power bombs in any percent. Yeah, the biggest difference in the game right now so far would probably be Freyas got the Kraid stand-up glitch, unfortunately, and Kipp's just a little more experienced, so there's some places he's just going to be a little smoother than Freyas is. Kipp going with the safety save before the Fantoon, everyone's favorite squid ghost.
And Freyas had a really impressive Red Tower climb, as well as a really smooth Hellway.
Yeah, both runners' movement has been very on point. Just a couple little things here and there. Unfortunately, we just commentator cursed them as they missed the D-boost there, but you'll have that.
So you're gonna see here the first spark that's gonna be required here in any percent if you don't want to free WJ over the moat. And Kipp gets the very nice missile Ocean Fly. Pog champs in chat for that, y'all. That is not an easy thing to do with the regular missile.
No, it is not.
And Freyas is just a little bit behind here at this point, about to do their spark over the moat. We will see if they decide to go for Ocean Fly as well. And it looks like they will not be going for Ocean Fly, and we'll get this second spark over the ocean.
Kipp hits the nice speedball into Fantoon. Believe he's going to do his hybrid X-Factor strats, where he'll try to hit an X-Factor in the first round and then go missile super to end in a 2-round Fantoon. We get it fast, which is...
Oh, and very nice. He nailed Fantoon with all 4 of those.
I thought the fast might have thrown him off to where he kind of got out of whack and was going to mistime it, but he recovered very nicely.
And Freya's got the speedball as well. Very, very nice job by them. And I wager we'll see a variation on Kipp's Fantoon here, as Kipp's Fantoon has kind of trickled downhill to where I modeled my Phantoon very heavily off of Kipp's, and then Freya's learned that from me, so we'll see if they're able to pull off a 2-round just as well.
Kipp's ammo, though, coming out of here. Very nice.
Oh, and Freya's enraged Phantoon. Very unfortunate.
She's just they are just using Nintendo Power Strats.
I did see them checking out the video from Edie doing Nintendo Power Strats for the Kona Challenge on Phantoon earlier, so you never know.
Oh, Fanny, be nice.
Everybody compliment Phantoon.
All right, Kipp misses the attic sparks, so he goes straight into the backup of just shooting everything. Which his ammo was very good, so not a big deal for him. That's unfortunate for Freya. That's Phantoon will do that to the best of runners, and I think anyone who's ran the game knows how that feels, and it sucks.
Indeed, Phantoon has a graveyard of runs behind him, just as much as Dragon does. So definitely not an easy boss, and nothing at all is free in Super Metroid. Especially Phantoon 1 rounds.
Kipp going bowling. Everyone take time, do a little bit of calisthenic, some static stretching. It's important. Don't sit still too long.
I'll tell you, that's not a very good bowler. He went right off he went underneath the lane.
You've obviously never seen me bowl. It's bad. Kipp doing a good job to not run past the gravity suit, which happens. Frog suit, excuse me.
Oh, and we see Freya's going for a speed keep attic here. Are they going to be able to get it? Oh, unfortunately, just missing that last jump.
Points for swag, though. Definitely points for swag attempt. Degree of difficulty way up.
That is not an easy strat to go for, and the fact that they made an attempt and got that far with it is impressive to me.
I can sometimes not even get, the speed echo, so.
And Freya's currently, I don't know what the name of this room is, but we will see if they go for they're going to go for the short charge here for the Bowler Spark, and they are able to charge it. Let's see if they can get it. Very, very beautiful. Freya's gets the Bowler Spark. A little bit low, unable to land inside the bowler with the morph, but still very, very nice out of Freya's for that strat.
Yes. I believe they asked us, is that the one tab spark they asked us to mention?
More or less, yes.
All right, and if you haven't noticed, now that Kipp has the purple Varia suit, he is able to move much more freely in the water.
And Freya's picking up that gravity suit, went halfway through it. That's, Mookie was talking about earlier, that's an item that's very easy to just simply run through and out the door, and you have to go all the way back around, and it is not fun.
Didn't I see you do that not too long ago? Or at least run by it?
That you did.
Okay.
Mookie, that was a stutter 3 that they performed for Bowler Spark.
I just remember they were talking about it last night when I had popped in the stream, and I didn't remember the number of taps.
So there is actually, just more on that spark, real quick. There is actually a one tap you can do for Bowler Spark if you wait, inside the, at the very last of the little dips there. If you're inside of it at the top of the water, when it's all the way down, you can perform a one tap spark there.
All right, everyone's favorite snake.
And Kipp gets the good X Factor. And one round. We all know it. Die, monster. You don't belong in this world.
Ah, Kipp missing the mock ball into the area where the E-tank is. Words are hard tonight. Sorry, guys.
That mock ball can be really scary because if you happen to miss it, it's possible to KO right through the sand pit and down through. And Kipp's setting up for the full halfie.
Oh, just misses. Such a tight window to get that. I believe you have to go through the door with, is it 21 frames in order to pull off the the full halfie?
I have no idea. I've never been able to pull off the full halfie. And Kipp taking a safety save here before Dragon. I actually really like this because you never know what sort of chain damage you're going to get with Dragon. And I know Kipp specifically has taken 600 damage worth of chain damage from Dragon and died from it, so...
Freya is setting up for the X Factor just a little bit different. Kipp uses the timing of the music. I think it's 6/8 time and counts the taps in order to know when he does his jumps. And it looks like Freyas did the kind of time it by running across the screen and back.
Ooh, and Kipp missing the first spark on Dragon. Unfortunate.
Missing the spark, but did hit the X Factors at least.
Missing that first spark on Dragon is just very, very detrimental to the fight. But Kipp recovered very well and gets the blue suit.
Mashed shrimp, lobster, whatever. Freya's missing the spark, unfortunately. Or, yeah, setting up spark, but moving right into the room here. They have their backup strats set and ready. Very well done.
That was definitely a beautiful Coliseum.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know how... I don't think you could do it very much faster without having a halfie or full halfie. Kipp does get the full halfie back.
And Freya's starting their fight with Dragon, getting some practice sparks in while they wait for the little babies. And we'll see if they're able to pull off the first spark here. Very nice, getting the first spark. And a second really quick spark as well. That was a very nice fight so far. And there's some of that chain damage we talked about earlier. Frey's down to 87 health with that blue suit.
Casual 87. Kipp went for Plasma Spark and just did not get it. Very tight window there. always feels good to get the plasma beam, especially with these guys. Like, I just remember playing casually as a kid and trying to figure out what to do with them, and then you're like, oh, that's what you do.
And unfortunately, Frey is a little bit too high. I didn't see if maybe they sparked from a crouched position or if they were just a little bit too high when they activated the spark.
I missed that also.
Fun fact about those pirates in Plasma Room, though, is that they're actually, if I recall correctly, immune to charge shots.
Kept killing all the crabs on the way out of Meridia. Those guys have sniped a few runs from speedrunners before.
I'm seeing in chat, by the way, Mookie, that it wasn't too high. They just didn't have the health to make it all the way across.
Yeah. Kipp with a very nice bounce ball get into ice area.
The Great Sir Nico, I think that would be interesting as well, although I'd want to see jump on select. And it's looking like Kipp's going to take his favorite route, the southern route, through Norfair to get the access to Lower Norfair, as opposed to the northern route.
I don't know what that room's called, but Freyas just did it excellently.
If it's the room with the Aveers falling down, I don't know the room name for that, but I like to call it the anxiety room, because if you fall into that sand pit physics are just garbage.
Kipp with a very good spike room there. And the chronic boost. Just clips it. I feel like we've seen so much GT Classic lately, or I have, that I'm not used to seeing the lava dive, with actually the proper equipment.
Yeah, I do believe that's the freest lava dive any of our runners have had in a few days.
And between Mini Boss RTA and GT Classic, a lot of one-suit lava dives and a lot of green gate glitches.
Which, that is something that won't be featured here, the green gate glitch to Gold Torizo, so... Kipp with the setup for fast pillars.
Ooh, short.
I tell you, Mookie, I gotta stop calling some of these out as they start doing them, because every time I do, I think I've cursed them all.
Probably can't curse it as bad as some of the things we cursed during the Rando tournament. Kipp with a very nice setup for this worst room in the game. One of my favorites to watch.
Oh, and Frey is getting the very nice jump through Croc Speedway, all the way over to the Nutella refill. Very beautiful jump.
Smart to take the Nutella refill there. Everything in Lower Norfair, even with bow suits, pretty much will take at least 50 damage from you, so better safe than sorry. Kipp very wisely using regular bombs to get through here in the wasteland. Otherwise, he would have had to get those power bombs of shame. We've all been there.
Speaking of power bombs of shame, we do see Freya's entering Lower Norfair with a minimum of 4 power bombs, which that's actually the minimum that you need to be able to get through Lower Norfair and not have to pick up those power bombs of shame.
Freyas had the speed echoes for fast pillars and just missed it.
Meanwhile, Kipp's starting his Ridley fight. It takes, with the current beam combo that he has, it will take only 20 charged shots to kill Ridley. And it looks like Kipp is finished with his Ridley fight, and that was very, very nice out of him. He will be moving on to the end of the game.
Freyas shooting some key hunters because why not? Poppy, would you mind explaining how Kipp just ran through the metal pirates there?
Yes, so Plasma Beam has, and I'm not quite sure how this works specifically on the metal pirates because they do block the beam and it angles away, but Plasma Beam does have the piercing property, so when they go to block it, you're able to clip through the metal pirates.
I'm glad to hear that because I had no idea other than people just run through them.
That's my very basic understanding of how that works with the metal pirates.
I'll allow it.
And Freya is going to begin their Ridley fight.
Both runners having a very, very good runs. I mean, little things here and there not going perfectly for each other, but...
Oh, and Kipp having some troubles in the Three Musketeers.
Those guys are jerks.
He got out of it just fine.
Coming out of here, this Viola is one of the sneakier bosses in the game.
And we see Freya's finishing off Ridley, and that little jump that they did, my understanding is that when Ridley's taken their max health and damage and is dead, a lot of times Ridley will go into kind of a looping animation where he swoops down at you and swipes at you with his tail. But if you're able to get that jump that Freya's got there, my understanding is that that will set his death timer down to 0 and he will explode basically immediately. I should point out I don't have the fullest understanding of how that works, but that's my current understanding.
All right, get back in the fish tank. Makes easy work of it. Freya's just getting clipped by one of the key hunters there. Sephi Punkfish gets no love at all. And Kipp just doing a couple extra mock balls because they're cool.
Meanwhile, Frey is getting to the Three Musketeers themselves. We'll see which strat they decide to go with, and they are going to go ahead and clip through. Whew, all right. Very, very close call there for Freyas, but they got through just fine, and that's all that matters.
I mean, that's just further the point that we kind of mentioned earlier, where just everything in Lower Norfair hits hard. I mean, those do 50 apiece.
I'm not quite sure how much they do. I've never personally paid attention to it. I just know they hit like a truck.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure it's 50 apiece. Because I think it's 200 when you run it in RBO.
And Kipp getting to G4 with a time of 41:13. Very, very nice.
Freyas with the nice jump through that save room.
So for those of you that might be new, and you've probably figured it out already, but what we mean when we refer to this room as the G4 room is because there's the 4 golden statues there, so it just gets shortened to G4 for the golden 4. And we're going to see Freyas make their way up through Meridia as they continue the escape, and we will see if they decide to give any love to Fishy Loft. And no love for the fish as they just motor right on by.
Kipp with a pretty clean Metroid Room 1. Solid Room 3. Metroid Rooms 1 and 3 are definitely the more challenging of the 4.
And it looks like drops were kind to Kipp as he leaves Metroid 4 with full ammo and full health.
Alright, does he get the baby skip? What do you think?
I think Kipp's going to get the baby skip.
Chat, place your non-monetary bets now. No baby skip. And facing right, looking back.
That's the only correct way to look, is back at all those frames you saved.
Everyone's favorite, what, 3/4 of a second, or 2/3 of a second or so?
I think it's 40 frames, if I recall correctly.
So yeah, whoever bet on the baby skip will be taking your imaginary Twitch houses and things like that. So remember, gambling is bad.
And Kipp gonna go ahead and take another safety save before getting to the Mother Brain fights. I like this, especially in a race setting, because one catch-up is all it takes to just end this run.
Yeah, ketchup not just a condiment for kids anymore. Kipp with the nice Zeb skip.
And unfortunately, Frey's getting grabbed by the Metro. Oh no!
Just needs to be careful. They need to be careful.
Oh, I might have clenched a little bit on that one. Freya's finishing up Metroid Room 1 alive. Kapop.
I think they just have enjoyed making things difficult for us in the past, 5 or 6 minutes. It's all in good fun.
And unfortunately, Drop's not being overly kind to Freya's right now. While Kipp in his fight with Mother Brain 2, it's the exact same damage amounts with the beam combo he has as it is for Ridley. So it's going to take 20 shots to finish off Mother Brain 1, and is going to start Mother Brain 2, and it will start the catch-up phase at 16 charge Ice Wave plasma shots.
Freya's got the good drops in the last Metroid room, so they have full ammo now.
We'll see if they decide to go for a baby skip. I know they've worked on it a little bit.
Why not go for it?
And unfortunately, they miss it. And they are going to face the only correct direction that you can face, and that would be right.
Unless you're facing the left.
I mean, then you're just wrong.
If that's wrong, I don't want to be right.
Everybody, get those baby thumps out and ready in chat, because we're about to have a really heartbreaking scene here. This baby Metroid just wants to protect you and save you, and Mother Brain is just mean.
The old Yeller moment of Super Metroid.
Ooh, and Freya's getting the Moonfall. Ooh, and that unfortunate Kojak, 20 and 6. They're not going to be able to really miss anything here. That's a good question, Maniacal. What is Mother Brain doing? We are missing one of the best commentators in the game here.
I could grab her, but she's getting ready for bed.
Frey's finishing up Mother Brain 1 with 2 missiles left to spare, it looked like. An emergency in Franker Z and or Magoo. Take your pick, everybody. As Kipp starts his escape.
Randomly weird question. Wasn't Escape a female R&B group in the 90s?
I have no idea.
Sorry. Kipp doing a good job, and Freya's damaging down to speed up the hyper beam sequence, or rainbow beam.
Get those baby thumbs back out and ready, everybody, because we're about to see that really sad scene again.
Yeah, and Kipp's about to kill these animals, too.
And we are going to see, here in a moment, Kipp has finished with an official SRL time of 49 minutes and 26 seconds. GG to Kipp. Very, very nice run. And Freya's is literally just a Mother Brain fight behind at this point. Like, Once they finish off Mother Brain here, they will make their way right through the escape and to the ship.
Yeah, I think they're going to finish probably about, 52:30. Very respectable time.
So, this question is open to you, Mookie, and everybody in chat. Do you think we're going to see Freya's save the animals?
I don't know their preference. I'm going to say they are going to taunt the animals because they know that Kipp has finished.
Well, we'll certainly find out here soon enough because everybody, once again, it is a little bit early on that. It is an emergency in Franker Z, everybody, so get those cats and dogs back out because everything's just going crazy on the planet.
Although I think the biggest deciding factor on if you save the animals or not is how you feel about fusion.
Oh, Mookie, we don't talk about that.
I'm not saying it's right or wrong. I'm just saying that's how I think people feel. Like that's how they decide if they're going to save these animals or not.
So, chat, what do you think? Do you think they're going to go down and save the animals, or do you think they're going to barbecue them? Maybe they're going to taunt them? I see Tetra in chat calling for the animals to be saved. Oh, and we see Freya's going down. What are they gonna do? Oh, and they're going in. It looks like they're gonna save the animals and get the swag spark back out.
The swag spark makes it acceptable.
I don't know, Mookie. It's still saving the animals.
I do feel like my time prediction of 52:30 would have been pretty accurate had we not saved those critters.
And Freya's has finished with an official SRL time of 54:37, and they have a big race PB with the animals. They PB'd by 1 minute and 36 seconds on their race time. So GG's to them. And also Deer Forces for Kipp.
And Kipp run is validated. He got any percent, so his, run's allowed.
Everybody, there's a link in chat. Go follow those runners. They are not people that you want to be missing out on. Kipp, very amazing runner. Frey is also a very amazing runner. Make sure you definitely go give him a follow. Also, shout outs to Fiesel because without him, there's not really this. So make sure you give Fiesel tacos so we can continue to have this. Also, make sure you follow my co-commentator Ditmuk. I'll put a link up in chat for that here in a moment.
Yeah, just remember, every August 13th, you put tacos by your basement door. Fiesel will come get them. Is that the right date?
Yes.
But good game to both runners. They put on a great show. Very happy to have called this. Make sure you guys go follow Poplars. She's an absolute sweetheart. And she puts up with me, so that's pretty much golden. If you can do that, you can do just about anything. And
we're coming up on the Deer Force here. for Freya's. So let's make sure when we get there that we get those deer forces in chat. Thank you, everybody, so much for tuning in to watch tonight's race. Once again, make sure you go follow those runners. Make sure you follow Ditmuk. And make sure we get those deer forces in chat for Freys when it comes up. And I shall see you next mission.
Have a good night, everyone.